Good day, everyone. Our topic for this day is all about the Module 5, the Islam in Moral History. They have the three objectives. First, what is Islam and its basic tenet? Second, how did Islam reach Southeast Asia and eventually the Philippine archipelago? And the third, which personality were created to have introduced Islam in Minsapala? So the first objective is what is Islam and its basic tenet. In the face of recent global and local terrorism, we see many people blaming Islam as the cause of hostilities and violence. Islam image has been particularly disfigured due to terrorist attack done by the group identified or claiming to be Muslim. So, napag-alaman natin na ang mga Muslim ay isang masasamang tao na kung saan sila ang nagdadala ng kaguluhan na hindi lang sa ating area kundi buong mundo na maraming kaguluhan ang kanilang dinadala. It because of the power of the media. But it is surely evidences from the Quran and the Sunnah tradition of the Prophet, however, revealed that Islam is a religion of peace and that is encouraging peaceful coexistence between Muslim and non-Muslim. So, dito natin nalalaman na ang Islam talaga ay masasama at mabait na tao. Literally, Islam means absolute surrender, submission to the will of God or Allah. Ayon sa mga historical, the etymologically, it derived from the word salam, which literally means peace. Therefore, it's supposed to be the religion of peace, and the Muslim person who absolutely surrenders to the will of God or Allah are supposed to be peaceful and righteous people. Along with the previously revealed scriptural tradition and saying of Prophet Muhammad, and more especially the Quran, Islam stands firm on 5 fundamental pillars. A person becomes an ideal Muslim if he observes the 5 pillars of Islam, namely Shahada, Salah, Zakat, Zaum, and Hajj. So the first 5 pillars is Shahada or profession of faith. The first important requirement for a person to become a Muslim is the Shahada. Once a person truly believes that there is only one God and that Muhammad, then he became a Muslim. Second is the Salah or 5-time daily prayer. The Shahada or profession of faith is surrender excuses without translating them into the act of worship. The act of worship particularly referred to is performing the Salah or the 5 obligatory daily prayer. In Islam, performing the Islamic prayer is considered a manifestation of the Muslim submission to the will of God. The 5-time daily prayer, each prayer lasts 5 minutes, leading to 25 minutes of prayer per day. So dito naman tayo sa the 5 obligatory daily prayer are eventually distributed all throughout the day, and they include the following: the Salat ul-Fajr, the dawn prayer; the Salat ul-Zuhur, the noon prayer; Salat ul-Azhar, the afternoon prayer; Salat ul-Maghrib, the sunset prayer; Salat ul-Isha, the evening prayer. So, ang pangtatlong pillars naman ay zakat or alms-giving. Because Islam is a very practical religion, it does not limit itself to ceremonies and ritual. In fact, the zakat are all giving to the poor and decided obligatory upon all earning Muslim. The amount of zakat is usually 1/40, meaning 1 peso goes to the poor and then needed out of the 40 pesos one is earning in 1 year. This is approximately 2.5% only of the person's annual income. Ang pang-apat naman na pillars is asiyam or fasting during the month of Ramadan. Except for the children, sick, age, pregnant, and menstruating women, nursing mother, and travelers, all Muslims who have reached puberty are required to fast during the month of Ramadan. Aside from the wealth benefit that one can get from fasting, Asiyam also fosters the value of self-restraint, discipline, and a deeper sense of spirituality. Pillars, which is the Hajj or pilgrimage. The Hajj refers to the exhausting and expensive pilgrimage to the Holy Land of Mecca in Saudi Arabia. For about a week or two, pilgrims strive to complete certain physical strenuous ritual. Because of its taxing difficulty, Allah mercifully accept if it's performed once a lifetime. Although people who cannot perform it due to the serious restriction like financial or health problem are exist to perform. Hajj. On jihad and terrorism, for those who do not understand the concept, they pinpoint jihad as a confirmation of Islam's violent nature. In recent years, jihad has caused a stir in the non-Muslim world because of the Persian relation to terrorism. Jihad is part of Islam but is not all about violence. Literally, jihad means struggle, but some translate it to mean a holy war. Jihad indeed a holy war, but before we imagine the ugly image of killing. So there are two types of jihad. First is jihad ul asgar, the lesser jihad, and second is jihad ul akbar, the greater jihad. The first is jihad ul asgar or lesser jihad refer to the physical jihad that Muslims should wage in time when they are being oppressed or persecuted, ejected from their homes and properties, or violence attack because of practicing their religion. Second is the physical struggle, which is considered the lesser form of jihad, never assume the totality of the meaning of the word. In fact, the Prophet teaches that there is one form of jihad which is so far greater than the physical struggle the Muslim should with during persecution.
Magandang araw sa lahat. Ako nga po pala si Lavilin Pacolba. So, on not eating pork. It must be clear at this juncture that prohibiting the eating of pork is not a monopoly of Islam. In fact, some Christian sects like the Seventh-day Adventists also prohibit the eating of pork. The Quran simply mentioned that certain foods are unclean and therefore prohibited for people to eat. So, alam naman natin na ang mga Muslim ay hindi sila kumakain ng karning baboy sapagkat para sa kanila ito ay hindi malinis at nagdudulot rin ito ng mga iba't ibang sakit katulad naman ng high blood at mga komplikado pang mga sakit. On polygyny. Polygyny is not an invention of Islam. In many cultures throughout history, it has been common for men to have several wives. In pre-Islamic Arabia, it was very common for a man to have 15 wives, and there were no laws to protect these women in case they were neglected or abandoned by unscrupulous men. So, ibig sabihin, ang polygyny daw ay yung pag-aasawa ng lalaki ng mahigit sa isa hanggang sa kanyang kung anong ilan ang kanyang gustong maging asawa, at ito rin ay permitado sa Quran. At pwedeng mag-asawa ang isang lalaki kung if he treated his wives or children equally. On wearing the veil. It is common observation that Muslim women wear veil, locally known as kumbong, in public. The wearing of the kumbong is actually traceable to the verse in the Quran which says, "And tell the believing women to lower their gaze and be modest, and to display of their adornment only that which is apparent, and to draw their veils over their bosoms, and not to reveal their adornment except to their husbands or fathers." Ibig sabihin nito, alam naman natin yung Muslim na babae, nasusuot sila nito. Tinatawag itong kumbong or veil. Nakasaad sa Quran, nakasaad dito na ang pwede lang makakita ng kanilang mga mukha or yung mga mukha nila ay ang kanilang magiging asawa or kanilang ama. Second question, how did Islam reach Southeast Asia and eventually the Philippine archipelago? So ito yung mensahe ng Islam. Sinasabi dito, the protection of the women and the orphans, the obligation of the rich to feed the poor and hungry, the encouragement of the strong to help and protect the weak, the high moral values associated with this religion, and the strong zeal of some Muslim leaders to spread the faith. It was all contributed to the natural expansion of Islam to other parts of the world. So, hindi lang dito sa Southeast Asia, hindi rin sa particular dito sa ating bansa, pati na rin sa Arabian Peninsula, sa Middle East, sa North Africa, Southern Europe, India, and of course, ito nga sa atin. May dalawang teorya na nagsasaad kung paano dumating sa atin yung Islam. Una yung missionary theory. Sinasaad doon na mga Muslim missionaries daw yung yun na, nagpalaganap ng Islam dito sa atin. Yung pangalawa yun man ay yung trade theory. Sinasaad doon ay ang Muslim traders daw yung na nagpalaganap ng Islam dito sa ating bansa. So, since mga teorya pa lamang sila, so hindi pa sigurado kung yun na ba yung dahilan kung bakit lumaganap nga yung Islam dito sa ating. Which personalities were credited to have introduced Islam in Minsopala? So, as to the question of who introduced Islam in Sulu, our answer is not also definite. Nevertheless, if we are to believe the written genealogies of Sulu, locally known Salsela or Tarsela, then it was a certain Tuan Masaika who pioneered Islam in Sulu. But there could have been many Tuan Masaika, as it is a title and not a proper name of a person. So the Sulu Tarselas and traditions speak also about Raha Magenda, also his son-in-law Sayyid Abu Bakar, who was the first Sultan of Sulu, and of course the credit for the introduction of Islam in mainland Mindanao was given to Sharif Muhammad Kabungsuan. So silang tatlo yung they were the ones, the personalities were credited for having Islam in our country.